welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with a meal idea video. This is actually number 17, so if you do happen to be new, there are loads of videos with meal inspiration over here. Do make sure to hit subscribe and that little bell next to it if you would like to see more in future. But I'm going to put my hands up and let you know that I didn't actually make these meals over the course of just 5 nights. It's probably realistically been 10 or 11 days. And do you know what it's down to? The hot weather. The kids have been super picky. We've been having barbecues, and if you're mum and dad, you know the score. But nonetheless, I've got 5 new meal ideas for you. Hopefully you do enjoy it. We finished the week with another takeaway, and it's actually a Wagamama's Katsu Curry. Do let me know in the comments down below how often you'd like to see these videos. But anyway, I'm going to get cracking and show you what we enjoyed. So for the first night, I've just sliced some onions and carrots, and I'm just softening those down. I've already cooked my braised steak, and I've seasoned that in salt and pepper. This is a really good dish. It's just like an Irish stew, and it's a good way of using up cheaper cuts of meat. I've just added in some powdered beef stock. If I had my own beef stock, I would add at this stage. So I'm actually adding in my water, and all you want to do is make sure that all of the mixture is completely covered, and this is going to reduce down as it cooks really slowly into a nice thick gravy. Usually when I'm cooking this, I would do double batch and freeze some. And as you can see, the longer you cook it, the more tender the meat becomes, and these little carrots become really lovely and sweet. And so we're just having it with some boiled potato, that's Dylan and Lola's, and then Sunny and Jude's, and there'll be lots so they can just help themselves to more if they want to. And then now Baby Pearl's eating with us. She's having some mashed potato, and the meat is just finely diced. Next up, I was going to do sweet corn fritters this evening, but the kids really wanted to try out our new waffle maker. So I actually thought that I would try and alter our sweet corn fritter mixture and make it more of a savoury waffle. So I'm going alongside my recipe book that came with the waffle maker and just kind of winging it. So we've got our milk, our eggs, our butter, some flour, some baking powder, and our sweet corn, and I'm just making the mix. And basically I've made it quite thick, just as I would if I was doing the sweet corn fritters. So I make the batter, and then I add my sweet corn to the batter. So this is my honest first try. I think I was a little bit hesitant, so I was quite scant with the mixture, and we didn't get really great results. So I tried a few different batches. They're my first. They didn't turn out great. So next time I used a lot of the mixture and a little bit of the fry light, and then we got more of a toasted golden crisp edging, and we made a couple of batches of those. The children had them with mini mozzarella, some olives, and some sliced pepper, and Alistair and I were eating out this evening. In all honesty, I would probably alter the recipe and try out a few different things, but it worked quite well considering it was the first time, and Baby Pearl seemed to really enjoy it as well. So the next night we'd had a barbecue, so we had some chili sausages left over. So then I put on a couple of rashers of bacon, and I'm just going to make a really easy 1-pot carbonara. So I've got my spaghetti, some parmesan, we're going to use 3 eggs, a couple of cloves of garlic, and we've got our broccoli. And I just like dishes like this that are just 1 pot and really simple. Because we've already cooked our meat, I'm just boiling up the pasta and our broccoli, and at this stage I've just cracked the eggs, and I'm going to mix them up and season them with a little salt and pepper. And sometimes when I'm making this dish, we just do simple Philadelphia instead of making it a carbonara. But I've added in 50 to 60 grams of parmesan. I'm making sure to leave a good generous wedge so the kids can have parmesan on the top. Because the meat's already cooked, I'm just adding it into a pan of olive oil, some garlic, some salt and pepper, and just more or less heating it through and getting the juices from the sausages and bacon that are already there. And then we've added our pre-cooked pasta to that pot, and all I want to do is, because it's already cooked, just heat it through and mix through all the veg so that we're getting all the juices that are ready in that pan. And then I've added in the yolk mixture, and I start to move this really quickly across the pan so that it doesn't curdle too much. I'll taste as I go, add a little salt and pepper, and I usually reserve a little bit of the water from the spaghetti and then add it if I want it a bit saucier. We're just having it really simple tonight with a nice crusty loaf of white bread. I didn't bake this, I'm afraid, and we're having it with some salted butter as well. And it's just one of those really easy teas that I know you can just pop down. Everyone really enjoys it, and everyone will just help themselves to it. So the next evening we're all going to have pork loin chops, but I'm actually going to cook them separately for the children, then myself and my husband will have them differently that evening. So for the children, I'm keeping them relatively healthy. I've just seasoned them up and popped them in the oven, and they're just having it with simple mashed potato. Again, I'm going to use the mashed potato that evening for us. They're having it with broccoli and baked beans, the kind of dinner that's simple and they just really enjoy. That evening I've put our pork loin chops into a pan, and I'm just frying off some of this fat on the edges to get a bit of juice, and then I'll trim it off and finish off the chops in the oven. In that same pan, I've just sliced 2 onions and I'm adding in a lot of balsamic vinegar, and I want to just cook that off before I add the other ingredients. So then we're going to add in a good generous drizzle of honey, and then a little bit of whole grain mustard, and really you just want to taste this as you go along and alter it to your own taste. This will make a really nice caramelized onion. You can actually keep this and cool it and add it into sandwiches as well. And then I've added a little bit of brown sugar because I just wanted to sweeten it up a little bit more, and I think this is a great way just to add a bit more flavour to something plain like pork chops. Once the chops are cooked and the sauce is reduced down, I add them all in together just to make sure it's all mixed and heat through. And then we've got the mashed potato that I cooked earlier, and I've added a lot of peas. This is probably a little bit too much for us with the 2 full pork chops, but it's absolutely delicious. And then our Friday night takeaway will be a Wagamama's Katsu Curry. It's one of my children's favourite. So we're using curry powder, garam masala, carrots, a couple of garlic cloves, a couple of onions, some soy sauce, some honey, flour, and 600 ml of chicken stock. And basically it's pretty straightforward. So we do the katsu curry sauce by chopping some onions and carrots and cooking them off first. Then I add in 4 teaspoons of curry powder, and you want to make sure this just all mixed through before you add in your 600 ml of chicken stock. And again, all you're wanting to do is add in 4 teaspoons of soy sauce, and then a few teaspoons of honey depending how you like your katsu curry, a couple of bay leaves, and this is so straightforward. All you're going to do is leave it to simmer for 20 minutes, and this should gently thicken up. Then I get to work on my chicken. You could have a tenderizer. All I do is add 2 layers of cling film and use a rolling pin to pound it down, and you want a nice flat scallop of chicken, and that way it'll cook really quickly. We've got our seasoned flour, an egg yolk, and some golden breadcrumbs, or even use panko breadcrumbs for a really nice crispy chicken. And then all we're going to do is be quite generous with your oil, but fry it off probably about 3 to 4 minutes on each side until you've got a really nice crispy outer. And then I just let it cool before I'm going to slice it, just as you would get in Wagamama's. And that's quite a big portion, so depending on your portion sizes, we use 4 chicken fillets for 6 of us. At this stage with the sauce, I add in my 1 teaspoon of garam masala. We really like this, and hence it's quite a dark flavouring. You could omit that and you'll have your lighter katsu curry with just your curry powder. So at this stage you can either sieve it or blend it down, and there we go, we've got our Wagamama's Katsu Curry, and I've just served it with some boiled rice. And like I said, it's that deeper colour for us because we use the garam masala, but it's absolutely delicious and it cost us under £2 per portion. And because it's our Friday night, we're making pudding for the children. I'm using these little hot dog trays, some crunchy caramel ice cream, some bananas, some raspberries, a little bit of squirty cream, and then I spied this in Tesco's. I hadn't seen it before, and it's chocolate caramel flavour topping for ice cream. And we're just going to make some banana splits, and I wish I'd actually made some for me and Alistair. We've topped it off with a little curly whirly as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If so, please do give it a thumbs up and leave me a nice comment down below, and I'd love to know how often would you like to see videos like these. If you're new, of course, make sure to hit subscribe and the little bell next to it if you'd like to see more. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye.